Welcome to the Age of Lions podcast, a platform and community dedicated to bringing purpose, strategy, and calling to kingdom-minded people who are 50 plus and excited about their next chapter. Here's your host, Mark Clement.
I just want to welcome everybody to the Age of Lions podcast. This is episode number 18. This is going to be kind of a mini episode, kind of a little in-between, one-off episode in between some of our other interviews. There's a couple things we wanted to accomplish today, and I'll kind of get into that in a second. But before we do that, whatever platform you're on, I just want to ask you, kind of implore you, plead with you, encourage you, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. All those things really help us reach more and new listeners, new viewers. And so if you're a fan of the show, if you're enjoying the show, if you're really coming back to us week after week, love to kind of get you into that groove. The other thing I'd like to ask you to do is take just a second and go to our website, ageoflions.com, and just click on any of the buttons on there and just get on our list, get on our mailing list, contact list, supporter list, whatever you want to call it. We don't light you up with a lot of content, but we do like to send things out from time to time, give you announcements, update you on what's going on. And as we are growing and doing new things, you'll be the first to know about that stuff. So we'd love to have you on that list just so we know who you are and we can kind of have more of a conversation with you because we really value your opinion, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, ideas you might have for the show or guests we could have or any of that kind of stuff. So we'd love to have any of that kind of feedback from you. We're going to do three big things today. And again, it's going to be kind of a mini episode, not super long, but we're going to, I want to kind of finish the rest of the story from last week with the episode with Jinda, my beautiful wife, that discussion on the power of story. We were kind of running up against time, and so we sort of leapt forward and cut it off, but I wanted to kind of give you the rest of that story. The second thing I want to talk to you about today is just want to give you a few updates about the podcast and what's going on. Some really exciting things are happening. And then the third thing is I just want to tell you about some of the guests we've got lined up starting next week. We have a run between now and the end of the year that is just going to be incredible, and I'm super excited about it. So I want to start by finishing the story from last week. You know, we talked a lot about all the things around story, telling your story, the power of it, the impact of it spiritually, all the things that went with it. But sometimes we get the question, okay, well, what, that was great. Then what happened? Well, what was amazing is over the course of that year when I gave my life back to Christ and kind of got it together and started down that path. I knew there were some things that I had to do. I had to get back involved in church. I had to get in some small groups. I had to, go see a counselor and work out some stuff in my own life. And God just kind of kept opening those doors and making things possible. And it was really a fascinating period in our life. And as we were having that discussion about could God use me again, because I kind of looked at myself as unworthy, and I was. I mean, I didn't deserve, none of us do, to be in ministry, to do things for God, to be kind of on the team, so to speak. But His mercy and His grace are so powerful. And as Jinda walked me through all those verses when she would, read the first half and she would quote the first half and I would, finish it reluctantly. It was really clear that God was saying, hey, I've got more for you to do. And one thing she told me later on that was really fascinating, and I want to say this to you to encourage you. It's not about me, but I want to tell you what she said to me. She said, I've prayed for people before. I've had friends I've prayed for, and God's encouraged me to pray for people. And I've seen God do some really cool things. She said, but I've never seen Him go after somebody quite as hard and quite as intentionally as He did with you. And you didn't go easy. Like we told you in the story last week, I really fought that whole thing at first. But she said, he's not coming after you just for fun. Like He's got a plan for you. Not only does He love you and want the best for you, but He's got work for you to do, plan for you to do. And that's true for all of us. There's a purpose and a plan that God has for each of us, whether we have fulfilled it, been working on it or not, or we're late to the game, all of us being a little older. Maybe you're thinking, man, it's too late for me. Or, I was 49 when this happened. I mean, I was basically about to turn 50. In fact, I was 49 because it was 2017. And, I could have easily said it's just too late for me, but it's never too late. It's never too late for God to do a powerful work. So I want to encourage you with that, whether He's coming after you or He's made some changes in your life already. You're thinking, what am I going to do with this? He's got a purpose for you to fulfill. If you're still on this earth, there's a purpose for you to fulfill. So I want you to be encouraged by that. But the next several years were really just incredible how that promise kind of kept unfolding as I got back involved in church and started going to church with her. And, I was so out of the loop. I mean, I remember the first night we went, it was a Wednesday night. It was the first Wednesday in June because it was right after that Memorial Day weekend. And I didn't know any of the songs. I hadn't set foot in a church in years. I was way out of my element, but I was so happy to be there. And it was so overwhelming just to be kind of back in the presence of God, be with other believers, the peace and the relief that came with that. And it just kind of started this powerful journey of getting involved at church. And for those of you who know me through church, Church of the Highlands, a lot of you have heard some of the story or kind of walked the story with me, but went through our growth track, which is how we kind of get involved in the church. And then I decided, to get on a dream team and serve. And God led me to get on the worship team, which is something I had done in the past as a worship pastor. That was kind of my thing. And I really didn't want to do it. I was like, I've done that before. I'd rather do something different or new. And he was like, no, he said, go, I want you to go try out for this. I want you to get involved in it. And my mantra going into that season of life, and I'm still in the season, hopefully for the rest of my life, is that whatever God tells me to do, I'm just trying to say yes. I'm just trying to go open-handed. It's not about me or what I want or what I think, but it's really about, God, what do you want? And if you're telling me to do something, if you're leading me to go somewhere, do this, do that, I'm just going to say yes and trust you with the results. And that was really the way I've kind of approached life ever since. So that started that path of getting involved in the worship ministry. And then at our church, we have a college called Highlands College, which is where Jinda works, where I used to work for several years. And they have what they call the Leadership Institute, which is for adults. And every time they would promote that, I would just feel this kind of draw to it, and I couldn't really explain it. And God was kind of putting this holy discontent in my life. And some of you probably have felt that, or maybe you're in that season right now where you're like, it's not that I'm unhappy or don't love what I do, or things are good, but there's just like this unsettledness, this restlessness of maybe God's got something else. And so that led down a path of enrolling in that and spending 2 years and just enjoying that so much. And so much so that when I finished that 2-year program, I had the opportunity to go and work there and lead that program, which was just mind-blowing to me. I've just graduated from it. And the next thing you know, the next year, I'm actually running that program, and God really blessed that opportunity. So I got to spend 3 years doing that, which was awesome. And then about 1.5 years ago, as I've shared kind of in different episodes, I just knew it was time to move on and do something else. And again, he kind of brought, after that season of doing that, kind of this restlessness again, okay, now it's time for a new chapter. And honestly, and this might be helpful for you guys, but I really thought when I took that job, I'm going to do this until I can't work anymore. Like I felt that bought into it, and I was, and still am as a supporter of the college. Like I absolutely love it. But sometimes our passion, while it may be fueled by God initially, we get kind of locked into it. He's like, yeah, just keep asking me every day if this is the thing you're supposed to be doing or if there's something else, so I'm giving everything I've got to this, but there's a point where he was like, okay, I've got more for you to do somewhere else. And so through that process of leaving well and trying to move on and do the next thing, and then starting a company, and then now we're doing this podcast, which was none of that was part of the plan at the time. It was just kind of taking it a day at a time. And God, what do you have for me? And I just say that to say that you never know where he's going to take you. You never know what the plan is or the twists and turns, but so much can happen in such a short period of time. And it's been such an exciting journey. And it's really kind of set me up for this moment where we're now doing the podcast. We're engaging in this topic. And it's been an incredible journey, even though we're only 3 months into it, just to see the fruit of it already and what God's doing and how he's using it. And it's been super fun. And then not only that, but also in my business, it's just been, we just finished our first year at the end of September, and it's been unbelievable. I have had more fun, gotten to meet more people, do such cool projects. Just the way God has blessed it has been amazing. And again, none of that was on my radar. It's just what he had in store. And all I had to do was go, yes, I'll start a new company. Yes, I'll start this new business. Yes, I'll do whatever you're asking me to do. And so that journey, I think the part of the fun and what kind of keeps us young as we pursue these things, whether it's, again, volunteering for somewhere and serving, or starting a new venture or an organization or ministry or whatever the thing is, giving all your focus to being a grandparent, whatever you feel like that calling is on your life, the process of pursuing that is so energizing to me. When you're in the right lane, when you're doing what God's called you to do, it just fills you with purpose. It fills you with joy. It fills you with energy. Can't wait to get out of the bed in the morning. Like, it's super exciting. So whatever that thing is for you, I hope that you're actively looking for it. If you haven't already found it, if you have found it, I hope you're actively working toward making it happen under God's leadership and following Him every day. Because I'm telling you, it's life-changing when you know you're on the right path, when you know God's leading you to something. Even if you're not sure what it is yet, but you're just pursuing it, the pursuit's half the fun. Just trying to figure out what that next thing is. So I want to encourage you in that, to keep on that journey. But that's kind of the rest of that story. And it's just been an incredible 8 years now since that happened. We got married later that year. We started dating, and that became a thing. We ended up getting married, and it's been an unbelievable ride. So so grateful for that. And so thanks for indulging me. I just wanted to kind of cap that off since we ran out of time last week. The next thing I want to talk to you about real quick is I just want to update you on the podcast itself and some things that are going on. We're 3 months in. We started the first week of August, and it has been an incredible journey. This is episode 18 here, the first Tuesday in November. So we've got 17 episodes under our belt. We did 5 that first week, so we kind of got a jump start on it. And I'm telling you guys, I didn't have any expectations about what was going to happen per se. Again, I was just saying yes. I felt like God was telling me to do this. And not really comparing to other things or looking at a lot of metrics or worrying about numbers or any of that stuff. And we have not done that. But I do want to share some numbers now that we are this far in. We've done a little bit of reporting and some analytics and just trying to understand kind of how we're doing and how we're growing. And I'm not comparing us to any other podcast. I have no idea what everybody else is doing and don't care. That's fine. But my main goal with this was I want to have great guests, which we've done and are continuing to do. I can't wait to tell you who's coming. But also I just want it to grow. I don't care if it's fast or slow or in between, but I just want to know that we're kind of gradually reaching more people and more people are kind of getting into the loop of what we're talking about. And it's been incredible. So just to give you some numbers. So we're 3 months in. We've done 17 episodes, which is already, it's hard for me to believe that we've done 17, not 18 counting this one. So far, we've had over 1,200 downloads between YouTube and all the audio or podcast platforms, which is, again, mind-boggling to me that many times someone has engaged with the content. That's incredible. We have been listened to in 5 different countries that we know about. Most of those stats are from the audio podcast side. The YouTube side doesn't give you quite as much information, but 5 different countries that we know about, 89 different cities, which is just really fascinating. And they're places that I've never even been to. I don't know anybody who lives there. So somebody's finding this through the socials and all the other stuff. So people are sharing. I don't know how they're finding it, but it's so exciting to know that people are finding it that we have no idea. When I look at our mailing list, our contact list, supporters list now, and how many people are on there. And, at first it was friends and family, which was great. I was so encouraged by their support. But we quickly got into a place where it's like, I don't know most of these people. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know how they found us. And so that's been really, really amazing. So 89 different cities. And we've had incredible feedback too. And I'm so grateful for that. Please keep commenting, whether it's DMing us on Instagram or commenting on a post or commenting in Facebook or LinkedIn or emailing us or whatever you're doing. Please keep that coming because it's so encouraging to know how this is impacting you guys, how you're receiving it, how you're feeling about it. And speaking of socials and the reach and the new people, and I don't know where they're all coming from, we've had over 20,000 engagements on social media between all the different platforms. That's how many times our content's been viewed. I mean, that's just shocking to me. And sometimes those are for a few seconds. I get it. It's not everybody's watching every second of everything. But the fact that even 20,000 sets of eyes have even seen it is just mind-boggling to me. So that's very cool. And then, like I said, we just want to grow, whatever that looks like. And so what's been really fun is over the last month, especially, we've started to see a real uptick in engagement. So we've our weekly viewership or listenership has almost doubled in the last few weeks. I say over the last month or so, 4 or 5 weeks. We've seen it actually almost double every week, the amount of people who are listening every week. And what's cool is not only are they listening to the new episodes, which is always fun because every person we talk to has their own network and they share it with their people. And so that hopefully brings new folks in. And that's great. But the other thing that's really cool is that how many of you are going back and listening to older episodes, whether you've been with us for a while and you've missed a few, or whether you're new and you're coming in, but you're going, hey, I like this. And then people are going back and watching stuff from the last 3 months. And so we see those numbers keep going up, which is just really, really cool how that engagement is happening. So grateful for that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I wanted to share with you about some of the guests that we've got coming up. And you look, I'm always going to be kind of a full disclosure person. I don't care. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not trying to impress anybody. The truth of the matter is, today's little mini episode is happening this way because we kind of got into this weird place between the first onslaught of guests that we had gotten scheduled and having all this margin. And then we started to schedule out the next round of people, and just the way the calendar fell between my travel and work schedule, and then just trying to get people scheduled for their interviews. Because, it's like 90 minutes of their time that we're trying to get on the calendar, which is, as you know, for any of you, that's hard to do. It's a lot of time. But as we're doing that, there was just a little break in the middle where we just couldn't get anybody lined up quite quick enough to keep it rolling. And so that'll pick back up next Tuesday. Next Tuesday's guest is going to be Wendy Garner. Wendy is the executive director of a nonprofit called On River Time that helps kids with special needs get out into nature and do whitewater trips and river stuff and all this kind of cool things. So I can't wait to talk to her. If you're from Birmingham or Alabama, you might know her from being one of our anchors on one of the local news stations for years. And then over the last decade plus, she's had a couple of different careers. We're going to talk about all that as she's done things as she's gotten older. Really fascinating. We've got Pastor Hamp Green from Church of the Highlands, who I'm super excited about. This man is full of joy in a way I've never seen before, and I can't wait to hear some of his kind of secrets to his joy. I'm sure he's going to talk about the Lord, but what else he's doing in his life to be so happy and so full of energy. We've got Josh Collins, who's an incredible business person out of Franklin, Tennessee, who's a mentor of mine. And then we had a couple of really interesting guests. We're starting to get into a range of people who I don't know personally, which is super fun. But we've invited people and they're saying yes, which is really cool. So really excited to have Chris Bruno. Chris Bruno is the founder of a ministry called the Restoration Project. Restoration Project is the group that I did the big hike with back in September. An incredible trip. They have this amazing men's ministry, and he's written several books, but one of them is called Sage. And it's all about, for men especially, moving into that older stage of life when you become a sage, when you become like a Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, that older, wise person who's kind of influencing the younger people. And so I can't wait to talk to him about his ministry, his books, and what he's learning about that process. So that's going to be incredible. We also have Frank Schwartz coming on. Frank Schwartz founded F3. And F3 is the workout group thing that I'm part of here locally in Birmingham. And they've got, I think, thousands of chapters all over the country. He founded that out of North Carolina. He's agreed to be on the podcast, talk about their organization and what older men are doing to get in shape and what he's learned about all that. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have so many other people lined up all the way through the end of the year. We're going to start to do some kind of themed things around the holidays and the new year and planning for the new year. It's just going to be amazing. So I'm so excited about it. Thank you for being part of this journey. And I just can't wait to see what these next few months are going to be like. So again, if you're new to us or if you've been around for a while but you haven't quite fully engaged, I really want to encourage you to like, subscribe, follow, comment on all the channels wherever you're listening, whether it's on socials, whether it's on where you actually watch the content of the show. And we would love to hear from you and know about you. And also go to ageoflions.com, get on our contact support list. Love to know who you are so we can kind of keep that conversation going. So excited to spend time with you guys each and every week. I hope this has been helpful just to kind of update you on what we're doing. And next week's Wendy Garner, it's going to be amazing. See you guys soon.